Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with Channel Disturbance. This is an Object 777 version 2. It's a tier 9 Soviet reward tank. It's located on the south spawn of Ghost Town and it's under the command of pipjivko. Okay, game's underway. This is the second reward tank, or rather the other reward tank for Frontline. The other one being the Char Future 4, which of course we featured in a replay already. In fact, we've got another replay for you to watch very shortly. This one is basically a version of the T10. It's a tank that never got actually put into production, the Object 777. It was design only, but it was basically to create a cast turret with a 122mm gun. And they were actually thinking about using a gas turbine engine as well. This is quite novel in this sense. Didn't penetrate with the first round. Now, it's, as I said, it's 122mm, 440 alpha with 258 minimum penetration on standard, and that goes up to 340 with the heat rounds. Oh, he's taking fire from that Jagdpanther, but of course he just bounced the round that came. Oh, that one went in. 399 from an Object 430. Now, both the Object 777 and the version 2, neither were put into production, but it's an interesting idea to put a gas turbine tank in. It's this early stage, and of course it was based on the T10, which was actually put into production. 2,500 of those were made. Just tracked the T-59 there. I think he might be able to get that cupola. It's possible. Yeah, he's going for it. And somebody is rubbing up alongside him, which is putting him off. Now, who was that? That Emil 1, North Sea? Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself, guy. You just actually stopped your friend from getting a first shot kill. But he still managed to take out the T-29. But it really does annoy some players when they keep getting rubbed up against, when they're in the moment of actually getting some damage on the enemy. Well, 441 there from the Samur. And that Emil is continuing to go alongside him and rub up against him. Okay, he's trying to get the round in. Obviously, through those bursting plates, it's a bit difficult. He's firing heat now, you see. And bounced the round that came from the Conqueror. See the holes in those bursting plates. Goes for the cupola, gets that one in, no problem. 446, a high roll. And the Emil, well, he's still too close and rubbing up alongside, and that's not helping at all. When he bounced around from the Conqueror, you see every time that Emil rubs alongside him, he upsets the reticule. And he's trying to dial in on targets, and this Emil is just spoiling it by just making the reticule bloom, and now he's taken around from that Samur. Go away, Mr. Emil. You're not wanted. You're actually being a nuisance. I would actually say that he's being a troll, but he's not intentionally doing it. He's just being a total dickwad, for, excuse my language, for upsetting this player, a good player, who's in the performance of his duty. Trying to get that cupola. He raises the gun almost to act as a barrier, but he gets it in through the cupola, and finally that Emil has gone away for the moment. He's not a very good player. He's only got 246 hit points left, which shows that, you know, he was letting the enemy actually get the pens on him. Okay, well, pipjivko is waiting for his opportunity. Still firing the heat rounds. He's going to move forward, and oh, Samur bounced one. Of course, you know the Samur's got a 100mm gun with decent penetration, and the Conqueror's bounced one now. Oh, but the Samur got one in, so he fires one back but doesn't get a pen. Okay, it's reloaded. Reload time 10 seconds, which is not bad for a 122mm at this tier. Goes for the cupola. Oh, now he did actually get that one into the Conqueror just for 500. High roll. And he's now potentially got a steel wall as well from the amount of bounces that took place. He's moving up so he can take out that Samur. Tortoise got round the corner. I thought for a second he'd actually hit the Tortoise with that last shot, but luckily the shell went straight past the tortoise into the enemy. Of course, you know, if you hit your teammate in the process, you might actually lose your chance to get a high caliber. Well, the Samura's gone around the corner of the other building, the one across the street, so he's not getting a shot in him from that angle. And there's only, what is it, 7 left on the enemy team? Yep, 7 left on the enemy team. Gets it into the Samura this time, but he takes one in return. In fact, he's now starting to look a bit holy. Side scrapes out, took around in the tracks. Needs to go up to the corner a bit closer. There is enemy Arty involved, and here comes that Emil again, and this time around he's going to get in the way by actually blocking the shots. Well, let him go forward and he will get wiped out, and we can then side scrape off his dead hull. And we've taken a round from a Hellcat in the tracks. The Emil will now be the focus of that Hellcat. And yep, there he goes. Super Hellcat took him out. Not surprised. I'm sorry, but players who misbehave like that are actually, you know, saying, I want this position because I'm better, but then they actually lose all their hit points, and all they've done is they've delayed you, or delayed the good player from actually getting damage. There goes the Super Hellcat, 235, another 2 shots like that. He must have hit the tracks. At least I think he would have hit the tracks. I think he's tracked him. And now he's killed him. With a 440 Alpha, he should have. Loading AP again. There's only the Barask, 2 tank destroyers, T-25-2, and a Waffenträger auf Panzer IV, and their Arty, an S-51, but he's not a very practiced Arty. We don't know where he is. He could be in the gap to our right. We know where the Waffenträger is, and there he is. He's in sight, actually. So we could take a long shot at long range. Yes, nice hit. There's the S-51. Oh, he has been killed now. Taken out by our Barask, which means it's just their Barask that we're up against. But of course, you know, he's a 2-shot autoloader. Takes 1 round from us for 405, which is a low roll. He's coming this way. And now we can get a solid hit into him. No, that just tracked him. But we can go for the ram, because we're heavier than him. Oh, no, only 34 hit points from a nick. We spun him around, but that shot kills him. Which means there's only one enemy left. It's the Waffenträger auf Panzer IV that we hit earlier. He's over in this corner. Obviously, he's going to want to try and take some hit points off us. The Tortoise, well, he's more than likely going to be the first target because, of course, he's very low on hit points, but he's very slow, and the Waffenträger might not see him in time. In fact, I think he stopped because he knows that if he does go after the Waffenträger, he will die, and he might as well just stay alive to the end of the game. Okay, Barask is going to get up there first. Oh, it's found him. And 1 shot from long range for pipjivko wins the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's the first class tank for pipjivko in the Object 777 version 2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 9, a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4, a fighter effect for doing more damage than hit points of his own vehicle, and a shell proof for blocking more damage than hit points of his own vehicle. The steel wall was for blocking the most damage in that game and receiving at least 11 shots from the enemy, bounces or not. And he also got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game. So you can see that the Object 777 version 2 is capable of taking damage and dealing it quite efficiently. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see he got the highest damage with 4,108 hit points of damage. The next high scorer was the Barask on his own team with 4,079, and after that it was the Samur on the enemy team with 3,660. When it came to kills, it was the Centurion and pipjivko in his Object 777 who managed to get 4 kills each. 3 kills by the Object 430 on the enemy team, and then 2 kills by their Samur, their Tortoise, their Barask, and our Challenger, or rather our Barask and our Challenger. And when it came to base XP, it was, I'm afraid, yes, the Barask who did it with 1,442. Then came the Object 777 and pipjivko with 1,249, and then 880 for the AMX 1375. He fired 21 rounds, got 19 direct hits and 12 penetrations, 1 splash. Damage of 4,108 hit points, of which 775 were up more than 300 meters. He received 16 hits from the enemy, 4 penetrations, 12 non-penetrations, and 3,180 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and 1,570 hit points of spotting assist, or damage assist in this one. 47,404 credits on a premium count, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he took away 13,329. Now it should be mentioned, he did fire a lot of heat because he was up against the Conqueror and the Samur, and although the Samur could have been penetrated with standard AP, I think he really did need the heat rounds to get through the Conqueror specifically to make sure. And so yes, he burned up a lot of credits getting that Conqueror out of the game, but there again he did collect a lot of credits in terms of hit points off the Conqueror, so I suppose, you know, he had to pay to get it, but he did get it. 13,329 credits lost. Yes, well, it's not a huge amount, so I think he can probably do damage to lower tier tanks quite easily, but same tier, upper tier, well, yes, he probably does need the heat. Received 1,249 XP, 94 for this being a premium vehicle because it's a reward tank, less premium XP. Yeah, it's not a crew trainer, you haven't paid to buy it, so therefore they're not going to give you extra XP simply to use it as a crew trainer. No, because it's a reward tank, you just get a bit more for it being a premium vehicle, but not much more. 1,968 experience points altogether. Now, this was the second battle that pipjivko came up with the Object 777 version 2. He actually sent me a replay beforehand, didn't have any medals in it whatsoever, but I said to him, look, can you actually get something that shows that it is actually quite a good tank? And he actually, or that it was a good replay. And he did. He went away. A couple of hours later, he came back with this replay. And I think it's actually quite a good one. It does show that the Object 777 can block damage. It has the cast hull and the cast turret that actually are able to defeat the enemy. The cupolas are difficult to hit on it because they're sort of like on either side with one in the center. I don't know if you saw that during the battle. But it's if you ever look at it on Tanks GG, you can see that it's very difficult for the enemy to actually get decent hits on it. So only if it's actually can see the hull of the tank can you start doing that, and that's when the Samur and the Super Hellcat were able to actually get rounds on target. But the Conqueror was having a lot of difficulty trying to get a shot in, and so long as he was just moving about, he was presenting quite a difficult target to them. But is it a good tank? Well, I don't know. It depends on your playstyle. If you compare it to the Char Future 4, which we've actually seen already, and that's more of a TD type medium, it's not a flanking brawling medium. It's a medium. It's a medium tank that you would actually play like a TD because it's got no armor whatsoever. It just needs to snipe the enemy from a distance. This thing is actually quite a decent heavy tank. Based on the T10, it's got decent armor and a very good turret and a decent gun. So yes, I think this is actually quite a good buy. And if I had the choice between the Char Future 4 and this Object 777, I think I'd get the Object 777 because you stand a much better chance of earning more credits off this thing than you do off the Char Future 4, because if you play that wrongly, you'll be out the game pretty quickly. So, if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. We will be having another replay with the Char Future 4, so I wonder if I'll get a chance to change my mind or see if that other player plays it slightly differently and gets a better result. So stay tuned to our channel. Thanks for watching.